In early spring, redstarts arrive back in Switzerland after their long journey from North Africa. They live in woods and open parkland, building nests in the crannies of old timber. In 2003, the Federal Environment Office and bird protection organisations drew up a list of 50 species most in need of protection. The redstart is among them. In the 1950s, it was one of the most common birds seen in the Swiss countryside. Now there are only a few thousand pairs left.
There's been a huge fall in numbers for two reasons. First, the loss of habitat in many areas of Switzerland. They used to live in orchards, where you have old trees. Lots of these have been cut down to build new houses. The reduction is also due to the fact that in the 70s and 80s there were long periods of drought in Africa, where they spent their winters. And many redstarts died there.
An exhibition at La Sauge Birdlife Sanctuary in Coudrefin shows other examples of vulnerable species. The laughing gull, a rare sight now in lake areas. The sparrow, once considered the ultimate urban survivor. In Coudrefin, the tree sparrows get a bit of help with nest building.
What we can see right now, that is in the cultivated landscape, that means in the agricultural land, there is the biggest pressure on birds right now due to intensification and the mechanization of agricultural practice.
Of the 195 species breeding in Switzerland, 15% are in decline. Among them are the hoopoe, the Eurasian curlew, the kingfisher, and the corncrake. In some cases, as with the common snipe, there are only a few pairs left. Specific measures have been taken to protect the highly endangered capercaillie. These include improving the mountain areas favoured by the birds for nesting and reducing human activities in these areas. Agricultural practices must also change.
Hedges are protected, but we also can create new hedges, and farmers, they are compensated for planting hedges.
The canton of Fribourg has a specific programme to save the Windchat. Conservation biologist Jérôme Grimaud visits farmers in the Gruyère region to encourage them to leave 10% of their pasture untouched so the Windchat can nest there.
It really isn't going to change anything in terms of how you work the land. If you leave 10% of the pasture for the birds, you'll lose the first cut of hay, but you'll get 1,200 francs per hectare back. That will allow the Windchat to nest in this parcel.
But bird protection doesn't only require a change in farming practices.
We try to improve a good management practice level on the whole cultivated landscape. That means forests, waters, and the agricultural land.
The Roche de l'Hermitage oak forest near Neuchâtel is a good example of forest management that promotes bird life, in this case the woodpecker. They make their homes in old oaks. These images were filmed by Blaise Mulhauser, president of SORBUS, an association that tries to protect endangered forest birds.
We've made a yellow mark on all the trees with hollows in them, where woodpeckers and other species that need hollows can nest. It's an important sign. It means watch out, don't cut down this tree.
But many old, weakened oaks are felled to make way for new ones, and spaces are cleared to allow acorns to germinate. In the 1950s, there were no woodpeckers here. Now there are up to 2 pairs per hectare in a forest of 100 hectares. Every time a child is born in Neuchâtel, the city authorities plant a new tree. About 100 are planted every year. But will the old oaks survive long enough to allow the new oaks to mature? Blaise Mulhauser is optimistic.
I think that some of these old trees will be more robust than others, so we will manage to save the woodpecker as the century progresses.